brain drain amongst some of the challenges that Nigeria is facing, and also marking this week the 2-year anniversary of what happened at Lekki Gate. Activists and protesters were shot and killed by the army, and a lot of people converging at Lekki Gate were caught again by police tear gas. And political and human rights activist Juwon Sanyaolu is a representative of the Socialist Workers and Youth League, and he joins us now via Zoom from Lagos in Nigeria. Thank you for joining us. Welcome to the program. How significant is this anniversary given the expectations of the last 2 years about justice? Press unmute, my brother.
Okay, sorry. So let me say thanks a lot for having me here. And I must start by saying over a year since the Judicial Panel of Inquiry came up with a report regarding what transpired at the Lekki Toll Gate and gave a verdict that indeed there was a massacre, despite deliberate denial by the Nigerian state. And the report did make a number of recommendations, including the need to get justice for all victims of this nationwide of this massacre, especially at the Lekki Toll Gate. And this justice in this time means that everybody who had been arrested on the grounds of the EndSARS protest must be released. Justice sense that the victims that were killed in cold blood, their families must be apologized to and duly and that the Nigerian state should issue public apology. Nothing has been done in this regard. Rather, what do we have? We've been having deniers upon deniers. The Nigerian state 2 years ago denied ever being at the Lekki Toll Gate to kill Nigerian youth. Then they set up a judicial panel of inquiry. Judicial panel of inquiry came up with reports. They still went ahead to disregard the reports of this judicial panel of inquiry. But more pathetic is also the fact that despite the EndSARS protest and the call for Nigerian youth to end the menace of police brutality on the contrary has escalated unabated. Even as we speak now, young people and old people especially are still being hounded and illegally detained. Currently, across different Nigerian prisons, there are scores of illegally detained persons everywhere across Nigerian prisons. And today, relating to EndSARS, I can tell you for certain that there are 40 activists, EndSARS activists, who are in different detention facilities across the country, including different prisons, all being framed with different charges. Some of them are being framed for harassing, some of them are being framed for murder, under different guys. So I can tell you 2 years since the Lekki massacre, justice is yet to be served. A year after the Judicial Panel of Inquiry delivered a verdict in favor of the Nigerian youth who engaged in the peaceful protest, nothing as the Nigerian government had not made a single attempt to implement the report of the Judicial Panel of Inquiry. So it's been a pathetic period for democracy, if you ask me.
So are we saying that the SARS, #SARS, that SARS may have been disbanded only in name, and that what they used to do continues perhaps under a different guise?
Absolutely. The call for the disbandment of SARS is primarily to end police brutality. I think that's the summary of it. But when you say you disband SARS in name, but in reality, police brutality has worsened, then it is as though the Nigerian state is deliberately dancing on the graves of people who paid the sacrifices of blood on the 20th of October. So it's like I said, it's a very sad situation we have here in Nigeria. And you recall, even when during the protest, when the Nigerian government said it had banned SARS, they immediately substituted same with SWAT. And what did they do? The same persons who are operatives of SARS, they simply moved them to SWAT. So it's just like new name, old contradictions. That is the situation.
All right, so have the authorities, has government explained why after 2 years no action has been taken?
For the government to even make attempt at action, it is to ensure at least it must, at the barest minimum, it must be modest enough to acknowledge that it has wronged its people. The government is still until this very moment denying it ever sent soldiers to kill protesters at the Lekki Toll Gate. Till date, the government is still insisting that nobody died. Till date, the government is dismissing the report of the judicial panel it puts together. It's put together in April 2020. So it takes a government that is genuinely ready for restitution. Okay, take for instance, just look at what happened today. Now, we were peacefully gathered. We were peacefully gathered to remember our colleagues, our friends that were killed. A lot of us are victims, including myself. I'm a victim of this very traumatizing experience. We came out today to vent our displeasure towards the inability of the Nigerian state to admit that it had wronged the Nigerian youth. We came out in remembrance of our colleagues who were killed, rather than the Nigerian state to at least, even if it is not admitting, allow us to mourn our dead in peace. We were tear gassed. We were tear gassed, we were chased, a number of us were brutalized, many were arrested, about 4 protesters were arrested today. What were we harmed with? We were only harmed with our ideas, we were only harmed with our songs, we were only harmed with placards, we were only harmed with banners, we were only harmed with the Nigerian flag. We did nothing, but yet they started shooting at us. They were spraying water cannons, attacking people with other very dangerous objects. So it's like I said, the Nigerian state still continues to operate in a manner similar to total impunity, as though it is not responsible to its citizens. It is what I describe as crass arrogance of power, and that is what we have: lack of respect for the noble ideals of citizenship.
Has the president spoken at all about Lekki Gate?
Like I said, yes, the president had at least I think sometimes last year, the president made some sort of remark about the NSAS protest. And if you compare the comment made by the judicial panel of inquiry with the comment of President Muhammadu Buhari, the Nigerian president, you would be saddened. Why the judicial panel of inquiry made a conclusive statement, like a comment, justifying and vindicating that our protest was indeed genuine, stating clearly that our demands were targeted at deepening the democracy within the country. The Nigerian government saw something different entirely. Imagine the president of the country openly saying, that was last year after he banned Twitter. He was saying that those NSAS people, they want to remove me from power. So how would Nigerian young people who are simply protesting and asking that they should not be killed by virtue of the fact that they are young people, how does that translate to the fact that they want to remove you from power? And as though it was justifying the deployment of military into a civilian peaceful protest. That was the only response. The other response we've heard so far from the presidency, from a spokesperson, are responses, are comments that I can say that very insulting comments, like saying that that there was no massacre. That's why I was saying the presidency continues to deny that there was a massacre at all. So it's like I said, what we have here in Nigeria today is a sad situation of lack of respect for dignity of nationhood and citizenship.
All right, we've run out of time, but one final question. 2 years later, nothing has happened. You converged on Lekki Gate and other places to demand change. Will we see more protests in the future if nothing continues to be done?
Oh, definitely. Today they were protesting Lagos, Lekki Toll Gate. They were protesting Edo State. They were protesting Oyo State. At least protests happened across 10 states across the federation. But like I said, it doesn't seem as though the Nigerian government is interested in ending the menace of police violence against its people. So yes, yes, we are likely to see more protests, more resistance directed at ensuring and asserting our right to citizenship. Because what happened today, like I said, remains very pathetic, very, very pathetic. It had shown clearly, that police brutality had not only escalated, but that the Nigerian state is in the business of endorsing same. So yes, we are likely to see more protests.
All right, and that's where we'll leave it. Thank you so much indeed for joining us and giving us an update on the situation in Nigeria 2 years after that Lekki Gate massacre. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
All right, that's Juwon Sanyaolu, who's a representative of the Socialist Workers and Youth League. He was speaking to us from Lagos on a day that they were remembering those that were killed at Lekki Gate 2 years ago. And they say that no justice has been served since then. And today's peaceful demonstration was met with fierce resistance by the police.